Hello, people. Thanks for joining me. I'm Scott, and this is a Music Man Majesty, serial number M013433, brought to us by that John Petrucci guy, the guy that helped design my favorite picks. Anyways, it has a fever, and the only prescription is more glue boost. I almost slipped and said the only prescription is more goo boost. These things have so many electronics in them, I think that if someone brought me one and asked me to work on it, I'd be like, no thanks. Send it back to Music Man. They designed this shit, they can fix it. California heritage since 1974. M013433. Say no to crack. It's on both sides, around the nut. This side is not as bad, it's just one single crack right there, but the other side, on the treble side, you can actually feel it with your hand. I mean, you can't because this is just an image on the screen, but I can feel it. I don't know why I said that. Compensated nuts. Why do we have them and how do they work? Well, basically, the guitar is very hard to intonate, you know. You can get it sounding okay at the 12th fret, but it might not be okay at the 9th fret or whatever. So typically they always compensate the bridge saddles, but they never compensate it on the other end, on the nut end. Most manufacturers do not compensate the nuts. But like Mike McConville's String Tech Workstations has said over and over again, is that for someone with a very sensitive ear, it's kind of nice to compensate it on both ends. Real brief synopsis of how it works is you fret the note at the 5th fret and then at the 17th, and you move your saddles so that this fundamental one that's perfectly in tune on the tuner, you get this octave to match up. Then once you do all that, you come down here to the 12th fret, you get all these to tune perfectly on the tuner. And then you play the open string and see how sharp or flat it is. And that way you know where to put the positions at the nut, the values. So depending on the diameter of the string, sometimes you'll want the value to be behind where it normally would be, or in front of where it would normally be. And that's why these little notches are cut in, so you can adjust it forward or back, just like a saddle down on the other end. So this is how I'm going to approach my workday with the guitar held in the total vise. I put a piece of padding between the frets and the strings and clamped it down. I could get the guitar up a little higher, but this is a pretty comfortable height for me. Now, I really think the best way here is to mechanically remove this stuff, because there's really nothing you can do to remelt it. Some people were asking me after the Yamaha repair, you know, how I went about doing it, and I just did something like this on the Yamaha. I hit it with a marker, and I wiped it, and it made it look, you know, better, good enough anyways. This one, you can actually feel it, so we're not going to get away with that on this one. So Ian Davlin taught me to think small, you know, just a small little sanding block. So this real thin stuff, 120 grit stick it sandpaper from StewMac, and I'm just going to start removing this. Actually, I might like to use a file. This is also a StewMac product. It's flat on one side and kind of half round on the other. Once I get enough of this removed, I'm going to do like a little stress test on it to see if I need to add any glue. And I'm not talking glue boost, I'm talking hot hide glue down into the crack. See if the crack telegraphs down into the wood. That'd be something I need to address while the finish is off. But I definitely don't want to go through the finish down into the black. I just want to get rid of this cracked finish in the top clear coat. And I probably want to feather it out a skosh so that I don't have this dip or divot. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I just want to see how it goes. Here's a little bit of naphtha. So I went from 120 to 220. Now this is some 320. I really didn't see that this crack goes down into the wood. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get any glue in here. Okay, now that I've loosened the strings and I can see some movement here. I had the strings still tightened before, so I couldn't really get it. The strings were pulling it this way, but once I pull it this way is when I can see that I think I can get some hot hide glue in here, some water thin, super hot glue. I'm going to warm the area with this hairdryer first, and then we'll drop it in. Here you can see it. You can see it pumping in and out, man. That is a serious crack. And so we just force it in with our finger and just hope that it makes it down in there. Even if it just makes it halfway down, this glue is so strong, it'll probably never re-crack. Hot hide glue is for me and for you. I think I'll clamp it for an hour. So since I have a 12-inch radius on the fretboard, I took a 9.5-inch radius bottomed caul and placed it here. I also put a hockey puck with some Johnson's paste wax on the backside to increase the surface area of the clamp so that I don't make an impression into the finish. The wider surface area helps. And then I use this single bar clamp to put adequate pressure on it. So I'll leave this for 2 hours and we'll come back to the finish repair. I'm back in the New York groove. I actually let it cure for 5 hours. Now I'm taking a little thin CA just to see if we can still see this crack. Oh yeah, there's a little, I can feel a little crack there. This is a little looper thing I bought from Stuart McDonald. Yeah, I see that this crack is very visible. StuMac started carrying the Glue Boost products, which I'm very happy for. So glad they're carrying that because the source I had before was like Rockler and Penn Industries. They want to charge me sales tax, yada yada. So I've got it where it's all smooth, and I'm pretty sure the crack is going to disappear, but when I wipe it with naphtha, I see the edge of the fretboard. I don't know why there's a discoloration here. Maybe I sanded through. No, I didn't sand through. I don't know what that is. It may have been there. It may have always been there. But what I want to do is I'm going to take this Pigma brush. It's a brush tip. That's why it says BR. It's black, but it's a brush tip. I'm going to color some spots. And before I wipe down that first layer of fill and finish, and you can kind of see these strata lines. You know what I mean? Strata, like you're looking down in a canyon. Different layers of earth, different layers of finish. Probably used like 3 or 4 coats of this poly. Now when I wipe it, we don't see that light color anymore. We see it's going to blend in nice. That's a archival ink pen. It's a Pigma. You can get it at Michael's Crafts. So I think this is going to look pretty good when I wipe on the fill and finish. Okay, got the exhaust fan going. I've got the fill and finish ultra thin in a little cup here. I'm just going to wipe it on with the Q-tip. Do that a few times, and I think we'll be in business. So I wipe with the accelerator, and I'm using Q-tip to apply. Accelerate me, accelerate you, accelerate them. There's one little divot still right there. I need to fill that in too. I'm gonna use that little looper. So I can get a little in there in the looper. There. This side I'm kind of doing the same thing, except I remembered I love these little micro files. I got this set over at Walmart, and they work really great. They don't leave a big nasty 120 grit scratch. It's more like a 320 grit kind of look to the teeth, but it takes off material 100 times faster than sandpaper. And this stuff is another problem with this poly is they really put it on kind of thick. And when it breaks, when a thick finish breaks, it looks worse than a thin finish. I think a thin finish handles damage a little more gracefully than a thick finish, but I don't know. So I'll do 220. I'm always cleaning off the sandpaper like this too. I'll do the 220. I'll do the 300. And I'll do the 400. Wipe it with naphtha to clean. I'll use a little bit of the Stumac number 10, which is the thinnest of the CA glues, just to see if I can get it to wick down into that crack. Then I will accelerate her. I will accelerate everyone. Okay, next time I sand it, and then I'll do the wipe on. I sanded it up to 600 grit now. I'll wipe with naphtha, then I'll wipe with fill and finish. Ultra thin. First, accelerate tall, then ultra thin on Q-tip. I'm gonna have to sand this one. I'll use my Trizac pad with a little Simple Green as a lubricant and just polish. Kind of a wet sand. Yeah. This is my wet sanding. After my wet sanding, I'll do my polishing. This is just a teeny tiny little bit of the Meguiar's Ultra Cut compound. Use it on your auto, use it on your guitar. And this is all one step right after the next. I don't have to sit around for a week waiting for the lacquer to cure like in the old days. Making this more affordable and using the Trizac on the bass side. This is the money side. This is the side where everybody stares at it. Nobody ever looks at the treble side. Except for guys like Albert King that play the right-handed guitar upside down left-handed. There's a little something here I gotta sand off. So if you're working on, or if you own any polyester guitars, get yourself some of this stuff, Trizac 3000 and this Meguiar's Mirror Glaze 105. and you'll have results like I just get. I'll show you. So this is the final. It was worse over here. We got a little bumpiness to it, but no crack, and I don't see any witness lines of any kind. Just that little bumpiness. But it's should be a solid repair. Let's see what this thing sounds like. Scotty D. It's got an out of phase button here. Kind of sounds like an acoustic. That's in phase. And then there's a boost. It's a little too boosty for me. Oh, but it has an adjustment here. I can dial that back so it doesn't boost as much. Here's the neck pickup. Now, here's the ghost pickup. Which is like an acoustic guitar. And the A string ain't working. What's up with that? It's a hunk of junk, that's what's up. Well guys, thanks for tuning in and checking this out. I know the lighting's kind of weird over there, but I showed you. Came out real good. And I hope this helps you with one of your projects. We'll catch you later.